welcome back to Paper Pages and Possibilities, or welcome if this is your first time here. In either case, I definitely appreciate having you here today to share in my bookish obsession. So I've got a couple of variety of things today. One, I have a couple of books to show you from a haul from the weekend. And then I'm going to give you a summary or kind of review of the book I most recently finished, and then give you an update on what I have planned next. So, to start off my haul, I went to a used bookstore that I absolutely love. It's like the biggest one, as I understand, the biggest one in the state, biggest used bookstore. And I love to go there regularly. They have lots of good options for very good prices, so big fan. And so the first one on my list that I was able to get is one that's on my TBR. So it's something I've been wanting to get, and that is Caraval. And this one is by Stephanie Garber. It was listed when I did the AI book recommendations. It was one on the list before I had to narrow it down all the way to just a single recommendation. This was on the list, so I am optimistic based on that fact. We have a little synopsis here. Scarlet Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now, Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt-of invitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious sailor, Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caraval's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that this season's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Caraval is only an elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with the other players in the game. And whether Caraval is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. That sounds really good. So that is my first find from my shopping trip over the weekend. The next one is called The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan. It was the cover that captured my interest first, but in reading the back, I became much more interested. And here is what it has to say. Anthony Perdue is the keeper of lost things. Once a celebrated author of short stories, now in his twilight years, Anthony has sought consolation from the long-ago loss of his fiancée by lovingly rescuing lost objects, the things others have dropped, misplaced, or accidentally left behind. Realizing that he's running out of time, he leaves his beautiful house and all the collected treasures to his unsuspecting assistant Laura, the one person he trusts to fulfill his legacy. Recovering from a bad divorce, Laura is in some ways one of Anthony's lost things. But when she moves into his lovely old Victorian mansion, her life suddenly begins to change. Anthony's final wishes set in motion a most serendipitous series of encounters as Laura sets out to realize Anthony's last wish, reuniting his cherished lost objects with their owners. With an unforgettable cast of characters that includes a teenage girl with special powers, a handsome gardener, a fussy ghost, and an array of irresistible four-legged friends, The Keeper of Lost Things is a heartwarming read about second chances, endless possibilities, and joyful discoveries. So that just sounded so good. So I couldn't resist. I had to get it. So it is now on my TBR, but probably won't get to this for a little while because I already have quite a few books lined up. All right, this next book was a very interesting find because it is a book I have owned before. And when I say I've owned the book before, I mean this exact book. um, it is a used bookstore where I got it at, and I have been going to the bookstore for many years, basically since I come to Oklahoma like 20 plus years ago. Being a used bookstore, they buy, sell, and trade. So I have taken many books to the bookstore to trade for credit. And this is one that I traded in many, many years ago. Like when I first came to Oklahoma, I want to say it was like 2004 or so. So, like many years ago. But I found this on the shelf and I decided to get it primarily for the nostalgia purposes. So this book is called Gabriel's Ghost by Linnea Sinclair. And I originally got this as an advanced reader copy. And I want to say it's probably 2005 or 2004. Probably 2005, early 2005. And I got it because I was doing book reviews online for a publisher, and I loved this time in my life. I was getting like 5 books a month to read and write reviews. At this time, I was just I was not working at the time. It was just my husband working, so I was housewife, and it was great for keeping me occupied. Like, this is one of those books, and what's really cool is that it is signed by the author as well, and addressed to me. So, um, I had to get it back. Like, there was no way I could pass up on that. So yeah, I'll read you the back here, but I don't know if I'm going to read it anytime soon, but I will reread it at some point because I did enjoy it. Let's see. So after a decade of piloting interstellar patrol ships, former Captain Chassida Berggren, one-time pride of the Sixth Fleet, finds herself court-martialed for a crime she didn't commit, and shipped off to a remote prison planet from which no one ever escapes. But when she kills a brutal guard in an act of self-defense, someone even more dangerous emerges from the shadows. Gabriel Sullivan, alpha mercenary, smuggler, and rogue, is supposed to be dead. Yet now the seductive ghost from Chaz's past is offering her a ticket to freedom for a price. Someone in the Empire is secretly breeding jukers, vicious and uncontrollable killing machines that have long been outlawed. Gabriel needs Chaz to help him stop the practice before it decimates Imperial space. The mission means putting their lives on the line, but the tensions that heat up between them may be the riskiest part of all. So it's a sci-fi, some romance in there. Yeah, I had to. And if I find some of the others that I may have taken to the bookstore and now would love to have back, it would be awesome to recollect the ones that I did the reviews on many years ago. So that's that. Last on the book haul is actually a new book. This is not a used book. It happened to be there happened to be an author signing going on the day that I was at the bookstore, and I thought it would be really cool to help promote this local author and expand my reading repertoire in the process. This looks like it's not quite my usual genre taste, but I'm definitely willing to give it a go. It's a very short book. It's called The Secret of the Ugly Brooch by Joy M. Ross. And it sounds like a cozy mystery. It is set in Oklahoma. So this is a local author, make it a local setting. And it says, after Emma witnesses a theft and murder, she hides from the killer, but circumstances cause her to be thrown into a life of luxury and secrets. She feels safe, hidden away in her secluded estate. Detective Mike Wells keeps tabs on her and soon discovers that she is not only in danger, but is about to be the center of attention. Interesting and enjoyable characters surround Emma and Mike, and while their attraction grows, so does the tension as the evil comes closer to home. That definitely sounds good, like a cozy mystery kind of thing, maybe a little bit of suspense, thriller. It is a fairly short read. Let's see, it's 204 pages, so fairly short. I could probably get through it in a day, maybe 2 days. So should see an update on this sometime in the next couple of months on my review after I finish reading it. But definitely excited to check it out. All right, so that was my haul from the bookstore. A really good haul. I definitely am happy with the things that I found. Next is an update. So I just finished reading a day or two ago, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This was a very good book. It is another one that was semi-recommended by AI, but it was already on my radar prior to that. Secret History, let's see, read the back here. Under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. So, my overall rating on this was a 4 out of 5 stars. It was overall a very good, engaging read. It was one of those that I had a very hard time putting down the way the story was told. I will say one of the reasons it was hard to put down is in this book with over 500 pages, there is only 8 chapters. Every single chapter is about 100 pages, if not more. And to me, that made it very daunting. Thankfully, it was very readable. When I got into it, I was reading for a couple hours at a time. The premise of the story, to give you a little bit more detail than the back of the book does, this is basically the story of a group of college kids who commit an act of murder on accident. And it is the events after that accidental death that this book takes us through, and how each person that was in that group deals with that fact. Like they killed somebody, not intentionally. They do not tell the authorities. They let the body be found in its own way. And it goes through their inner workings, like how they deal with that knowledge after the fact. There's a lot of trauma. Along with that trauma, there's guilt. Some of them become suspicious of the others in the group. It's like a deterioration of this group of friends because of that one incident. Leads to a lot of other things that, sends a lot of them downhill. And so it deals with death, addiction, grief, a lot of that. So it's very in-depth. You get the inner workings of the mind of at least the main character, but I think along the way, through the conversations and descriptions, you get a lot of the inner workings of other characters, and these are all people that were in the group of friends. In the end, I couldn't give it a 5 out of 5 because the ending wasn't quite satisfying. I don't know, it's kind of at a loss for words. I would definitely recommend, if you like dark academia, this is perfect. The reason why I couldn't give it a 4 out of 5, the other reason, aside from the ending, is it is not what I expected going into the book. I was going into it kind of expecting there to be a supernatural element to this story, and there wasn't. It was all pretty, like, There was nothing supernatural about it. It was just a group of college kids exploring their own identities, their boundaries of their morality. So while it was good, it was not as good as I was hoping it was going to be. So those are my thoughts on the Secret History. All right, finally, I have started my next book, and it is one that I had mentioned. It's the H.P. Lovecraft Great Tales of Terror, or Great Tales of Horror. And I'm only just a couple pages in. It is a compilation of short stories from H.P. Lovecraft, and this book focuses on the Cthulhu mythos, so there's several stories in there. I thought when I first got this book that it was a compendium, so like it had everything that Lovecraft had written, but it doesn't. So because of that, I have actually made a purchase of the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft, and that is coming from Amazon tomorrow. So I will show it to you probably in the next video, as I'll probably be talking about this in the next video, and let you know like how that goes. I wanted to get the whole gamut of Lovecraft's writing, not just the Cthulhu tales, but like everything that he's written. I'm just looking forward to that. I just got started on this. This is perfect read for October, and as I mentioned in I think last video, I'm definitely going to do a video talking about the Lovecraftian influences on movies. Like, I'm going to pick out certain specific movies that have obvious influences from Lovecraft, and it's mostly going to be influences from Cthulhu, the Cthulhu mythos. So that is to come. That is all for today. Definitely appreciate you spending some time with me today, talking about all things bookish. And if you like the content today, I would love a thumbs up. If you would like to see more of what I do, just hit the subscribe button. And if you know any other bookish friends who you think would be interested in joining a bookish community, then please share. I would love to have more people join the community. And then finally, in the comments, please let me know if you have read or heard of any of the books that I featured today. If so, tell me your thoughts if you've read them. I would just love to have a conversation about any and all of the books that I featured here, or anything else that might be on your mind in terms of bookish good reads for October. So please send me any spooky recommendations. Yeah, but that's all. Thanks for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.